My presentation is going to be based on questions that are a trend in issues that I've seen with people asking questions on helps on different assignment. And really what it all boils down to is a lot of people take a lot of these projects and think and just look at this giant mountain and think, wow, I have to get to the top of that and I have no idea how to get up. You have to think a lot smaller and think about the individual steps of getting there. So alternate titles to this are Building the Great Wall of China, Make Me a Cake, or Grab Me a Dozen Eggs at the Store. I'm sure some of you have heard a couple of these before. It starts off, computers are stupid. We've learned that. They need super explicit directions so that they don't get confused, and they get confused really easily. So I talk in metaphors, so here we go. First one is building the Great Wall of China. Basically, if you wanted to simply explain this, you could turn around and say, all right, put bricks in the direction of where you want the wall to go, and just keep on laying down bricks until you have a big wall. When it comes to computers, when it comes to people, you can kind of infer the rest of the details of that conversation, but when it comes to computers, they have no idea what you're talking about. So they're going to start asking things like, what's a brick? What keeps them together? How tall are you going to build that wall? And a billion other questions that you need. In programming, this comes down to like if you want to increase something by 200 pixels. 200 pixels isn't a math thing, so it doesn't know what you're talking about. So what's increasing 200 pixels? So we're getting there. So we're going to think like a computer for a second, and a couple of you have probably heard of this. This is called Get Me a Dozen Eggs from the Store. The way that a computer would think that command means is it's going to go down to the flower store. It's going to wonder where the eggs are. It's going to go to the shoe store. It's going to wonder where the eggs are. It's going to go to the gas station. It's going to find eggs and wonder what a dozen is. It's going to pick up each egg, grab it firmly. The eggs are going to break. It's going to figure that this is what a dozen is, and then it's going to think that its mission is accomplished, and then it's going to come back home with these crushed eggs in hand and think that it did the right job. That's not what we're going to do, and so we have to detail every single thing, like what is an egg, what is a dozen, what is a store, and that's how we have to start thinking about our programming. In the past, we ran into this. I saw a lot of people asking the same question on the music player. When I asked step by step, what do you want to do with this problem? They said, well, when the button clicks, I want the song to play and all the other songs to stop. That's cool, but there's a lot of little mini steps in between. And just like we saw on the bootstrap thing where you just asked, what was your thought process in creating this whole thing? It's not the thought process on how are you creating this whole web page. It's the thought process on each individual element and taking it step by step until you build the Great Wall of China. Kind of trying to rush through this. So instead of giving a general direction like when a button's clicked, that song should play, we have to go through step by step by step and change the play button to stop the button, go through every single detail. Again, going back to that 200 pixels thing, this is a question that actually Janan walked through with me, and she came to this answer of you can't do math on things that computers don't think are numbers. You have to think like a computer in every single thing that you're doing and think small, and instead of trying to tackle everything with one line of function, write as many lines of code as you want to, and then kind of scale down from there, and you'll have a lot easier time understanding what you're coding as well as what the problems that you're going to face are in between. And that's pretty much it. The moral of the story is take that big block and think of it in a whole bunch of smaller blocks. Take your big problems and make them small. And that's it.